Believe it or not, I've been trying to keep myself quite busy lately, and I've had another good or terrible idea, but we'll see how this goes. I decided that I was really tired of the way my walls are looking, and since we don't do boring in this household, I decided to do something about that. I have carved this whole entire plan that, mind you, could bring me closer to declaring bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy!
I am not joking. I have spent an insane amount of money on this project, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because my happiness comes first. What makes me more happy other than books, my animals, makeup, probably some more things as well. But anyway, done interior design. Very few things other than the ones that I just mentioned. So like I said, I came up with this plan to change my kitchen wall, which I really don't like what it's looking like anymore. The wall right behind my bedroom. It's looking quite boring in my opinion. TV wall is also looking quite so I think, although I love the things that I have there individually, I love them, they mean something to me, but I feel like there's more to be done, there's more to be played with in these areas. So I decided to make my dream come true of having a beautiful vintage collage, that rhymed, full of paintings that tell me something. Also really have the whole vibe of my apartment change. I have changed, okay? I am a different person than I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when I first started building the design of my apartment and creating my personal style. I would change a lot of things that I chose back then, but I find that you can really change the vibe of a place, of a room, of a space with very few things. You can go in the more economical way, that's for sure. There's always options. I, however, wanted to really go for the things that spoke to my soul, and I chose not to check the value of those things so much. But if you really take the time, you can make this more economical and more budget friendly. However, I did not do that, as my bank statement will attest. Do I have any regrets? No, sir. No, I don't. You didn't get to see this part, but I have already ordered the frames. I opted for some very vintage looking frames. I'm really going for the museum look. Don't ask me why, but this is what I'm into nowadays. But I'm not gonna show it to you yet because I would ruin the fun. And I'm way too excited to show you in person what it looks like. I went for 6 frames for the kitchen area to replace the one painting that I have currently there. Each of them very different sizes. There are 4 small ones that are actually the same size, 1 medium and 1 big one. It's not really that big, alright? It's medium size, but like the bigger one of the bunch of the collage that I'm planning to do there. So we'll see what that looks like. That medium big one is actually the same as the one that I went for, the frame that I went for my TV area, also in the vintage museum style. And for the wall above my bed, I went for a wooden one. I think that's the biggest one of the bunch. So that's already ordered. So when I thought vintage as my main idea and style that I wanted to go for, I immediately thought Etsy prints. And that's what I did. You can find so many options. There's an infinite amount of available prints that you can choose. I found this vintage printable rustic European wall. I guess that's what I am, European, and I want a rustic wall. So this one was definitely for me. It's also very cheap, quick, and cat butt. Safira was extremely involved in the process, as you can see. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that Etsy saved my life with this. Prints are also in 4K, amazing quality, so this was the best go-to, let's say. And now what we're gonna do is go ahead and do the selection of the 2000, I'll say that again, 2000 pictures, oil painting pictures. And I'm gonna go ahead and choose 6. These ones are gonna go in the kitchen wall frames and we'll see what comes out of it. I am a bit afraid. It's a lot of them. It's real lot of them. This might take a while. I'm gonna tell you. this one? Too dark? Alright.
So, in the darkness of a candle and a huge-ass screen, I venture on my quest of finding the 6 pieces of art that I deemed worthy of expressing my mood, soul, and most of all, of the wall that will see me making express noodles for an unknown amount of time in my coming life ventures.
I have a feeling this is gonna take a while.
My single filter here was basically observing them and waiting to see what spoke to me. Of course, I always try to keep an eye on what looks good, but I also really wanted to connect with the prints that I would end up choosing, since I'm going to be stuck with them for a while. Although I will admit I did end up printing some extra ones, just in case I felt like switching them seasonally, and I think I will end up doing that. But for now, I tried to stick with 6 main ones so that those can be the main work of art on display.
I'm now starting to realize this is gonna be a lot more difficult than I thought it's gonna be. I just love all of them. I wish I could have 2,000 paintings or prints of paintings in my apartment, but I can't because I don't have enough walls. I need a bigger apartment or a house just so I can fill the walls up with these paintings. That's how good they are. I can't believe it, but I think we might have it. This was actually not in my initial plan, but then I decided the kitchen wall is not the only wall I would like to change in this makeover situation that we have in our hands at the moment. The TV wall was actually kind of boring me as well. I can't show you exactly what it looked like in the past. I can tell you though, it's not much different than it being empty. I have a small canvas that I acquired on my trip to Prague some years ago. So it is an object I am kind of attached to. However, I felt like this was not the right place for it anymore. I don't have any footage from right now to show you because I was kind of messing around with the possibilities here, let's say, and I may or may have not accidentally taken the nail out of the wall and now I can't hang it anymore so I can show you. But I'm sure I will be able to find some old footage from this wall so you will be able to have at least a bit of a reference of what it looked like before. As I said, I was kind of playing with the ideas of what I want to do exactly with all of my walls here in my living area, in my studio apartment. I actually initially intended to get something quite small as well, because as you can see, this is a rather small wall, this area at least is. I didn't want to overpack it, but at the same time, while playing with the ideas, I realized I might do exactly the opposite of that. So therefore, I have this small, right? Yeah, I know. So actually the thought process of this was initially, like I said, not getting something this big, but very organically so, I happened to stumble across this antique store in the city I live in, Munich. Oh my god. First of all, it was amazing. I wish I would have taken some pictures for you, but maybe I can find something online and I can insert some snippets of what it looked like.
Joke's on you, or me in this case. Sometime after this recording, my friends and I ended up visiting it again because I really needed to show this place to somebody and we took some pictures, so here you go. May you be as amazed as I was.
It was amazing. I have come to really love going to antique stores this past year or so, and I find there are really a lot of treasures there. And I absolutely fell in love with this. Of course, I don't believe that this is an actual papyrus from ancient Egypt. I'm not that naive, although I would love to believe that. I think it is real papyrus paper made in Egypt from the plant that they use for this. I think it's a very interesting process. If you don't know how they do it, look it up. It's amazing to see how it's done.
It's not surprising to say I was wrong. I posted on Reddit a question to see if somebody could confirm for me that it indeed was a real papyrus. And to nobody's surprise, somebody that seems to be extremely retired in the Egypt art Reddit seems pretty trustworthy to me, I guess, confirmed to me that this was most probably not real papyrus, but made of banana leaves or something similar. You can read their response. They also explained what the painting is actually depicting, which was also pretty interesting. ChatGPT confirmed this is real. So it seems to be, by the condition of it, not so old, but I still think it's really cool. All right. I still love it. And I'm very proud to have it on my wall. So there you go.
It's, of course, a recreation of actual hieroglyphics. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Most likely not. But one could think, yeah, just frame it with a small frame, you're good to go. But then I realized, playing around with the idea of different frames and sizes, that actually a big frame will look amazing on this wall. So we're gonna give it a try. I don't know for a fact this is actually gonna look good. Oh my god, what's going on with me today? But we're gonna try. My first problem right now is the following, and that is this frame is actually a lot bigger than this. I mean, not a lot, but like you can see there's a little problem here. And I really don't wanna put this glass in front of this. I wanna have it as raw looking as possible. And I want to achieve that. You lose a lot of the colors, a lot of the textures with a glass on top of it. So I'm not gonna put a glass on. And without a glass, this is not gonna hold up. So what I thought I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just stick it to the wood of the frame. This can go very good or very bad. What? Very fast.
Okay, so as you saw very briefly explained by the extremely retired guy in the Reddit post, I wanted to go into a bit more detail of what this papyrus actually means. Here we've got a little slice of ancient Egypt in action. On the left, we've got a stylish lady, probably a princess, offering some fancy goodies to the seated queen on the right. Oh, wait, 1 second. Pastiana has something to say.
So this might be rather risky, but I'm gonna use just the normal glue stick. What could go wrong, right? Not exactly sure how this is gonna turn out, but we're gonna give it a go.
Anyway, as we were saying, she's not just any queen. She's the goddess Hathor, the goddess of love, music, beauty, and all things fabulous. You can spot her by the sun disk and horns on her head. Total icon energy, if you ask me. And between them, there's a table full of divine snacks and offerings. Basically, this scene is all about giving thanks, keeping the good vibes flowing between mortals and gods, and maybe securing a little extra divine favor along the way.
I'm having a bit of trouble getting all the corners down properly, although it is technically holding, I guess. It's still not the best. I really wanted to avoid using any stronger glue, like super glue, like this, because I wanted to be able to remove it at some point if I wanted to, but I think I'm gonna have to do it against my better judgment. We're all in with this project, and I want it to be as perfect looking as possible, and I'm invested with this idea at the moment, so I'm just gonna go for it. Oh my god, that's a great start! Alright, I had to go find a different one because that one is definitely not collaborating with me here, and I remember I had some wood gel. This shed is strong. Alright, so I'm not a big fan of using this, but we're gonna have to go for it. One corner down. 3 more to go.
We're flying high.
I think we got it. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a part that scares me the most. I am not an experienced wall maker. That sounds weird as heck. I don't know why I said that. I am, you could say, a prepared girl, but that doesn't stop me from messing things up. We have 2 options. Good old trusty hammer your way into the wall way, or a very professional approach that I don't know if I'm prepared to take. I think I'm going for the annoyingly loud nail situation into the wall with a hammer. This is the wall adjacent to my bathroom, and I don't know if I want to take the risk of drilling into a water pipe or something like that. I don't know if my poor heart could take that problem. So I think in this case I'm going for this. It's annoying, it's loud, and I hate it, but it's just one nail. What could go wrong? Right? Right. Hey! Oh no. I'm already tired. So I've made the mark exactly on top of the center. I measured how thick the frame is actually. It's about 3.5 centimeters. So I think I should drill somewhere around this area. Somewhere around there, I think. Speaking from past experiences, I think I'm gonna wrap the hammer around a little bit of a cloth that I know, you don't have to tell me it's gonna get ruined, but it's really, really, really loud, and this wall is rather hollow, so it's gonna be extremely loud, and I hate it. I'm going to do this just to save myself the pain, and also my neighbors, hopefully. Don't question the means, question the results. You'll see, it works just fine. Oh no, this is exactly what I didn't want. These nails are so damn fragile. They start bending so fast. Shut up. Just ignore how crusty I look. I'm in my homeless mode, clearly. While I actively try to hide the frame behind me that I put up the other day. Wait for the reveal. You've already seen it, I don't even know. But what I wanted to show you. We got it, guys. We finally got the prints. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Can't wait.
It is truly very difficult to explain how good the texture of these prints feels. It truly feels like an oil canvas without it actually being one, but it's the closest we can get with prints. We avoid the shine. It's called a fine art type of print, and it's the best option. It's always a bit more expensive than the regular kind of prints, but it's really so worth it. I'm sure you can see I have an empty frame behind me that I intend to fill in. So we're painting today. My Barbie sweater and me are embarking into another journey, which is painting by numbers. You heard that right. Am I actually in the journey of my New Year's resolution of further exploring painting? Yes, I am. But I am opting for something that makes me think very little this time. Mainly because I want to be sure that it comes out as best as possible, and also, have you tried painting by numbers? It's so relaxing. So today we have this. So I'm gonna spend this evening and probably a lot more evenings to come working on this. I am really hoping that we'll have this done in about a week or so. Hopefully it won't take much longer than that. We shall see. Let's get to it, shall we? Is it the best idea to do this with a white hoodie? No. Am I gonna do it anyway? Obviously. Even this part is so satisfying for some reason. Oh, I need the scissor again.
You know what? We're gonna chop the borders so it fits in here and I can properly paint. Okay, I think this should be enough, actually. Might not be best here, but that's okay. We didn't chop anything that we needed, so we're good. Now we're gonna secure this onto the panel and we're gonna start painting. What am I using for that, you ask? That's a great question. Laundry hangers. Listen, if you're gonna tell me to get something more professional,
sunshine.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright? Nobody. Maybe I do. I just don't want to use my time on that. It might not be the cutest thing, but it does the job alright. So shut up. Shh. Just watch it, don't judge. We finally have every single frame that I ordered. Everything already has arrived and is ready to be put up, and I'm so excited for this. They are without a doubt some of the most beautiful frames I've ever seen, and honestly, they were worth every single freaking penny. So I'm sure I mentioned this in the past, but we have several sizes going on here. I was trying to figure out, without even having them in front of me, taking into account sizes, shapes, colors, the own context of my apartment and the color palette I'm having here. I have to say, it started with a couple colors and now it has a lot more than I anticipated. But I am really loving it and I'm kind of achieving this bright sensation even on the dark days, which we have a lot of those here. I have the feeling that it's still very bright in my apartment because of the bright colors. So I'm really digging that. I used to be a very neutral tones kind of person, but I've grown, I've improved as a person. And of course, we always must take into consideration also the dimensions that we're working with. In my case, my apartment is a pretty small one. Obviously, my dining area, exactly where this collage is going, it has a pretty reduced space. So obviously, there is quite a bit of a fear of overpopulating the area with things in general. On the other hand, it keeps it interesting. So I'm willing to take that bet. I am really willing to take that bet and see where this takes us. So for the unboxing, let's take a look at what we have here, what we're working with today. This one you've already seen. I've ordered this twice in a slightly different tone, you could say. They are pretty similar, as you can see. My train of thought here was kind of keeping the whole thing together by having very similar pieces because the rest are very dissimilar. So moving on, we also have this white and gold frame. It's also the same size as this one's. Very different shape, different tones. I think it will look incredible. Oh my god, it's full of this plastic snow thingy. My apartment is gonna be full of these now. Do you wanna build a snowman? Awesome. On the other hand, we have this one. This one is going to be the biggest one in the whole collage, and it's going to be the one in the whole center of it. So it's a very important one. I personally love this one. I love the frames. I love the way it looks even from the sides. It has these very cool ridges and it just feels so detailed. I simply love it. To be quite frank, there's not one single frame from the 6 ones I'm gonna show you that I don't love. They are all very special in their own way, very vintage, which is exactly what I was personally going for. And the last 2 pieces, I had to count shortly there because I wasn't even sure. These 2 are also so very special. You're not ready. For the second biggest piece, we have this oval frame. I think is gorgeous, and I thought this would kind of disrupt the collage in a good way, if that makes any sense to you. Because if not the color, at least the change in shape, and I think this should look very, very nice put together. So I'm simply in love with this one. Last one. I have no words for this one. The colors are just perfect. It's this turquoise gold combination that I simply love. Once again, the shapes are absolutely incredible of the ridges. I have simply no words for how beautiful this is. Am I a bit afraid how everything's gonna look together on the wall? Yes, I am, but each piece is individually so amazing that I just have a lot of faith in this, I think. But I don't know, I might end up biting my tongue later on. We shall see. I also received, I showed you the other day, the prints. I already show you, I believe, all the bigger ones that I got printed. This is like a very special kind of print. This is like fine print paper. I simply wish you could just touch this and feel it. It feels like a genuine oil painting. It does. So it's just mind-blowing to me. Of course, we also have some of the smaller ones. I got quite a lot printed to be able to kind of exchange eventually according to the season, how I feel about it. So these were actually quite cheap. I got them done on matte paper in this case, but it's no fine art paper, but I still think it looks pretty nice. There are like a lot of themes in here. I think they all look very lovely, and all of these are actual paintings or like art pieces. This really caught my eye. But eventually, I did choose only 6, as you saw me doing. And actually, this is gonna sound a little bit silly, but believe it or not, I did end up making kind of like a sketch of the whole thing. This weird looking thing here is supposed to be my kitchen table. This is the kitchen shelving, and this is where the collage is, I think, going to go. Kind of in this order, more or less. I also ended up choosing what pictures are gonna go in here by looking at this kind of combo, what it looks like put together. I even went as far as screenshotting the actual frames from like the website where I bought them from, which is Amazon, obviously. It should more or less look something like this. This one might be a little bit bigger here than it will actually be in real life. Sizing might be a little bit off. Obviously, this was kind of like eyeballing it, more or less. So yeah, we shall see how close to reality I got with this, but I tried, okay? I did my best. I'm no architect. So it should look something like this. Of course, more or less. I'm taking into account that here I'm gonna have kitchen utensils, the kettle, coffee machine, all of those kitchen devices that I have on my table that I have nowhere else to put. So that's why I'm kind of leaving this little space here, working around that area. So this is what it should look like, what we will end up seeing in the practice. I have an issue because I was not really planning on having the glass in front. Oh, there she is. If that makes sense to you. I wanted to have the painting without it, so it's more matte and it looks more real, so to speak. I have an issue, and that is, this is a very interesting... Oh wow, it's already full of cat hair. It's very cool because it's kind of like a door that opens. The problem is the glass it's glued to the frame, not like one of those regular frames that you can just take the glass out, put the painting, and that's it. So that's an issue. What I want to try is, I see there's some space in between the glass and the frame, so I'm gonna try to get the painting somewhere in between that. I don't know if it's gonna stay, if it's gonna work, if it's gonna look weird, so we're gonna see. I might be able to manage it, however, the print is gonna have to be a bit smaller, or I don't think I will be able to get it in without ruining it, and I really don't want to do that, so I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit. Even if I put it behind the glass, I think I would have to cut it nonetheless, because I am not sure, but oh no, actually, it would fit behind the glass. I really don't want the glass, so what should I do? What should I do? Should I try to cut it and put it in here at the risk of it not staying there, ruining the print, or should I just leave it in? I think I'm gonna try. F it. Just a teeny tad. I'm gonna try to cut a little bit on this side, maybe.
still not enough, but I see it is sticking in there and it kind of stays, so this might be going somewhere, but we have to cut some more. This is gonna be a tricky one because this is the round one, so we're gonna have to make it work. So my bedroom wall transformation actually took me a while. I painted this canvas for weeks, and it's one of those paint by numbers kits that claims to be relaxing, but really, it feels like manual labor for your eyes. Still, it is kind of therapeutic once you stop stressing about staying inside the lines. I didn't really know where it was going for half of the time that I was painting it, but I just kept showing up to it, little by little. During this time, I realized my desk area also needed something with a little, soul. I found this beautiful oil painting, or a print of one. Among all the prints, I found this gorgeous vintage style print by Raphael Toussaint. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Depicting a woman in this pale blue dress looking out from her balcony like she's contemplating the meaning of life, or judging her neighbors. Either way, I figured she belongs here, and I paired it with this weathered gold frame that, honestly, chef's kiss, and now she just lives in the corner of my desk. Alright, back to the canvas. I finally finished it. I know, congratulations to me. And then came sealing day. I used this special acrylic sealant that keeps the colors vivid and stops the paint from fading or scratching off. And then the most satisfying part, putting it up. I really couldn't believe that I actually finished it at this point. It's not perfect, but that's exactly why I love it. My bedroom wall finally feels like me. So you know how this goes. This is what we're working with at the moment. I am frankly tired of it. So we're gonna gently say thank you and goodbye to it. Now this first part is the easier one. That's because we already have the hole. Ignore the fact that I messed up and I made 2 holes for 1 nail. Things happen. We'll fix that when the time comes. This is not a problem for today me. It's a problem for future me. So that's a nice first step. Let's see how it looks. It honestly already looks so much better. I am proud of myself. Also, it's taken me so long to put the prints inside of the frames that it's almost nighttime now. I fought with them pretty intensely, you could say, but we managed. The tricky part comes now. I have my handy dandy hammer, and this time I'm gonna try to really hammer my way through this wall, because the other one, the TV one, was a more challenging one. It's, I think, a concrete wall, and this one is not, because it's the one separating apartments. This one is not as thick as the other one, so I think it will be, or it should be, easier. If I can avoid drilling into a wall, I will. Also, I am kind of swinging this around in a very dangerous way. I should stop doing that.
I'm gonna tell you that I love you 100 times a day. You'll get tired of my voice, that's how much I'm gonna tell you that I miss you. I'll miss you if you go. Yes, I'm gonna
I hit so hard, I broke it. I broke the head of the nail. How did that even happen?
I really hope you love me too.
Do I see shit? No, I don't. And it shows.
I'm gonna tell you that I
1.5 exactly. Where is the line? Where the heck did I... Oh, here. I panicked for a second. 1.5. There we go. Last nail. Oh my god.
wanna let you know.
Do you like it? We love it, don't we? I think she does. Don't. I love you so much. I love you so much. This is why she hates me. Well, if you thought we were done, you are very wrong, my friend, because we still have the side quest project left. And that is, my friends, lights. You see, it always kind of bothers me because when I'm sitting at this table at night, me being the person that I am, meaning somebody who hates the big light, and it's all about mood lighting, I can barely see shit when I'm sitting here. And you know, that's enough normally, but if I'm like doing something such as painting or anything at all for which I need to use my eyeballs properly, I just cannot because it's really dark in here. So I was thinking about getting some kind of light. Now, mind you, I don't want to make any more holes and much less a whole electrical installation here because I'm renting and that's just not very renter friendly, I suppose. These holes are very easy to cover up. A whole electrical installation is not. So alternatively, I found these lights that I can just recharge just like my phone. So initially, I only wanted one for here, but it comes in packs of 2, so I thought maybe I can put one also in my hallway, which is also very dark. Of course, I also have a big light, but when I'm going to the bathroom or I do something there, I would love to avoid having to turn on that huge light that just blinds you and you're like, it makes you feel like a rabbit in the middle of the road kind of thing. So I'm thinking I'm also gonna put one there. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that looks. But for now, I'm very, very happy with the idea of having one here, lighting this dining area. And yeah, so let's get to that as well. Now, to be honest, I don't even know exactly where I should put it. It's like a stick-in thing. You also have the option to drill it into the wall, but we're not gonna do that today. The only downside is that we have to wait 24 hours. So we have to stick it in the wall and then wait 24 hours until we can put on the actual light. The only thing is, I don't know if I should put it here somewhere, maybe a bit to the right. The light is actually this one. It's just a little round little light. Well, it's not so little, I guess. Oh, okay, it's magnetic. Okay, that's great. As you can see, you can switch it in a 360-degree angle. So that's great. I would want it to be somewhere here, I suppose, so I can do this and maybe even higher like that. Yeah, but like somewhere here that is not like exactly in the middle, but it's kind of half hidden by the plants. There we go. It has 3 intensities. It's probably blinding you, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm trying to think, or this, it's also very nice mood lighting. What do you guys think? I think I'm ruining this plant more than it's already ruined. I'm sorry. So I think we got it. I think it should be somewhere around there, where we should stick it. So this is the sticker. It says, stick on the smooth wall and press it for 1 minute. Then use it after 24 hours. So we're going to do just that. I hope that's straight. I'm not sure about that, but I'm having faith. Yeah, straight enough. Ooh. Hi, it's the next day. I'm back in my very comfy coat, and it's been 24 hours, which means we can finally put the lights up. And there was finally light. This year, one of my New Year resolutions was going back into art, exploring further my creative side. I know I have because I am per se a very creative person. I think having my space reflect that is also inspiring to me on a day-to-day basis. Even when I'm not feeling very inspired or very creative, just by being surrounded by art, by things that tell me something in a way or touch my soul, that means a lot already. It can really activate some, interesting tickles in your brain cells. I totally recommend exploring with your space and not only telling yourself, okay, what do I want others to see when they come into my space, which is also important. I want myself, me, personally, that other people get to see a story being told. For me, interior design is a lot more than decorating a space to live in, but it's also storytelling, if that makes sense. What I wanted to achieve with this collage, or one of the things that I wanted to achieve with this, was adding more color into the space. I have been playing a lot with pink, grays, beige colors, but I wanted to explore also other colors like green, blue, red. I think it looks so stunning when you connect different items. The straightforward thing to do is always going for the same colors you already have, but playing with color can make such a huge difference. Don't be afraid. In my opinion, you shouldn't be afraid of adding green, red with a pink. It can go very well, like with a color wheel. There's a whole color theory out there to be learned and to be explored. Complementary and opposites in the color wheel. You can have amazing results in your interior design when you do that. I personally am tired. I am tired of beige spaces. I think they are beautiful. I was one of those people at some point in time, but I think adding color is a life-changing experience when it comes to your home. It reflects a bubbly personality if you have one. It says vintage, it says Victorian, it could say modern, it could say a mixture. It's just a matter of how you play with things. You can still have a pretty neutral space if you play correctly with the things, but adding color into a space, I think, changes that very much. And also, what I wanted to do with all the art really that I've added to my walls was basically telling a story, adding statement spaces to catch your eye, to be able to lose yourself looking at it and discover the story that is being told, and to bring life into the room. The way it was before, I love the painting. I made that a while ago, and it reminds me of the beginnings of my life in this apartment, but I also think that it didn't do any favors to that wall, to the kitchen area. It totally changes. Now it feels like it brings up like the value of the space a little bit. It's more classy. The way I try to play with things together, I went for something vintage, but also modern, contemporary art. It just speaks of my personality. It just reminds me of what I want to be more of and who I want to be. And to be honest, I'm super happy with the result. There's still a lot more to do in this apartment, but I think I spent enough money this time. So it was an expensive beginning of the year just because of this project I did, but worth it. I'm very happy. I think that's the bottom line of this all. I went for this huge feeling of a change without really changing that much. I changed like 3 things, but it's still giving the vibe of I'm in a different apartment. Also super happy with how the TV wall looks. Quite frankly, is it perfect? Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, I know. But honestly, going with this oversized frame for me did it. I think it looks awesome. I'm very happy with it. And that's what matters. I think it makes it look like a bit of a museum kind of style, and I love that. It reminds me of my love of museums and art. I love the ancient Egyptian culture. I've always been very interested in it. So I just love this, my little corner of ancient Egypt. I'm just very happy. So I don't have much more to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires something in you to do this as well, to do some change in your room, as little as it may be, in your space, in your apartment. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I think very few small things can change the whole vibe if you play with them strategically. So play around, have fun. I think that's the real conclusion to this. The real bottom line is to have fun, play with ideas, plan if you need to plan. I sketch stuff all the time, and for me, it's also fun. It's these little projects that bring me joy, to be honest. So I hope you join me for more of these projects in the future, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.